Welcome back. This is Western Kentucky Raiders. Once again, this is the postseason picture of what happened in the postseason. We're going to start off with the conference championships, and that'll be what this one's about. So this is going to be perhaps about a three-part series of the 2011 postseason. We're going to start with the conference tournaments and championships. And then the next one will be, after this will probably be the regional, super regional, and then the third segment will be about College World Series. Okay, with that said, let's move right into the conference tournaments. Virginia Tech, like I said, in the previous segment, was just running away with competition, and it really showed. As you can see on the screen, Virginia Tech just kept on moving, trucking on the first game. It just wiped out North Carolina 22-0. That's quite a big statement coming out in the opening round. Let's take a look at the second bracket. Maryland was good, and then Virginia Tech won over Maryland for the overall for all the marbles. Okay, then we're gonna look at the Big East. South Florida was supposedly a dominant team, but they got showed up overall, and then they got kicked out. Not much of a definite of what happened in the conference there. But overall, it was Seton Hall did well and won with a 4 seed. That shows you how weak that conference really was from the previous segment. Moving on to the Big Ten. Penn State was the best team in the conference, and it showed. Even though they started off slow, they won in reasonable fashion. This was probably a 10 rule. Yeah, they used the 10-run rule and against Minnesota there in Game D of the Big Ten. And then we move on, and Penn State really stepped up for sure. And then it showed that Penn State won the overall for all the marbles. Moving on to the Big 12, Texas was just big, because everything's big in Texas. There was no problem for Texas moving in bracket 1. On the other side was Nebraska, obviously, but they got ousted, but they brought it all the way back, and because Mizzou is a team to be dealt with, and so they forced the extra game against Mizzou, and Nebraska won that side of the bracket. But Texas won the championship by a final score of 1-0, and that came in the bottom of the 5th, where Texas made a sacrifice fly. The Conference USA was not a very big dominant conference either in bracket 1, but it was Houston was the best team in that area. And Eastern Carolina was the other good team as well, so it showed with East Carolina winning the overall championship by a final score of 10-0, and that was only an 8-inning ball game. Let's move on to the Missouri Valley. Evansville was solid. And that's when Evansville won the conference. Then Midwest, Utah was just running the show like crazy. And then it kept on showing, and Utah blew out San Diego State 15-0 in the final game. Going to the Patriot League, this is the team where only three teams get into the postseason, which is on half the league, and the top seed gets to bye, and yeah, did very well. against a solid team there against Lafayette. Taking a look at the SEC, the Hogs just pounding runs, runs and runs. They gave up some more than allowed runs supposedly during the regular season. They stepped it up for sure in the tournament, making sure that no one thinks they can't play defense. And granted they gave up 4 runs to Auburn, but that's to be expected. On the other side, it was just Mississippi was just all over. Even though they got sent to the losers bracket, they fought their way back. Then Arkansas won the overall game by a final score of 22-0. Then Sun Belt was all Arkansas State against Florida International, and final score of that was 11-1 Arkansas State over Florida International. And let's take a look what the scores were, and Pepperdine was just solid when it counted. Southern Con was not very solid conference either, so no big surprise there when 4-1. And that takes care of pretty much all that. We're going to look at the Massachusetts was just the big winner there, like I said. And that takes care of that part. Well, we kind of skipped ahead a little bit. But that takes care of the segment for all the tournaments. So we're going to go to the regional next segment. Have a great day.